Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ode and I'm coming to you from Edinburgh in Scotland. This is a bit of a different video today. It's not a regular podcast episode, but I thought I would share with you my winter knitting plans. I don't usually do those videos. It's the first time I'm doing them. I usually do my plans for the next year, sort of, but I find that I never stick to those plans. And so I thought that maybe if I did it by season, it would be a bit better. I would be able to stick to my plans a bit better, and that would leave room for being inspired by new yarns and new patterns later in the year. So yeah, also I really like watching those videos when other podcasters do them. So yes, so the theme of today is my winter knitting plans. It is December right now. And for me, winter is December, January, February. I do understand that it starts towards the end of December and goes into March, but for me, winter is December, January, and February. So the plans that I have today is what I would like to knit over the next 3 months. It is a bit ambitious, I think, the list that I have. I have about 10 patterns, I think, including 3 garments, and I'm not that fast of a knitter, but yeah, it's very possible that I'm not going to be able to make all of these, but it's really nice to have a list to work from, I think. So yeah. The way I'm going about this is part of me really likes to knit seasonally. So in winter, I feel inspired to knit winter pieces. The thing is, especially when it comes to garment, I am not fast enough to be able to knit those things in a season and then wear them in that same season. So usually what happens is that I knit on winter things, for example, over winter, and then by the time I'm done, it's gotten too warm for me to be able to wear them. So my plan is, when it comes to garments, I would like to knit a season ahead. So I'm going to be focusing on things that I would wear in the spring and also possibly in the summer, because our summers are not very warm here. And that means basically cardigan, jacket type things. But then when it comes to accessories, then I will be doing winter things. Because yeah, those you can make, like a hat or mittens or a headband or something. I can knit that and still wear it in that same season. I can't knit that quickly enough. So yes, what I have for you today is 3 garments, which are 3 cardigan jacket, like I said, and then a few accessories, a hat, couple headbands, some mittens, maybe a shawl, and things like that. So yeah, let's just get started. I have my notes right here if I look to the side with the list of the patterns that I would like to work on. I've made a Ravelry bundle if that's something you're interested in, if you want to check this out later to remind yourself of the patterns that I mentioned. But yeah, the first one that I would like to talk about is this beautiful cardigan called the Evina cardigan by Heidi Pettersen. It is a V-neck cardigan with a raglan construction and a nice double knit button bands. I love double knit button bands, even though they take forever to make. I think they're so worth it. And the special feature of this cardigan is that it's a combination of knitting and crochet. So from what I understand you knit this band of these crochet squares that you attach together. I haven't read the pattern in depth just yet, so that you attach together to make this band, and then you pick up stitches to do the ribbing at the bottom, and then you pick up stitches to do the upper part of the cardigan. So it's not technically really knit from the bottom up because you don't start right at the bottom, but it is kind of a bottom up construction, which I don't do often, but I don't really have anything against it. It's especially for something like that. It is a cardigan, it's a bit oversized. If the fit is not absolutely perfect, I think it's fine. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this. It is knit in with 3 strands of yarn, 1 fingering and 2 mohair, but the pattern also has yardage and information if you want to do it differently, like for example a thicker strand of something and then a mohair, or just one strand of yarn. Like, it has good information about that. It is knit on 5mm needles, although obviously, you know, I have to swatch, but the pattern recommends 5mm needles and a 5mm crochet hook. Again, I'm gonna have to swatch. And yeah, the yarn that I would like to use for this is this yarn. So this would be the fingering weight yarn, and that is from WoolyKnit. It is a cone that I bought at least a couple of years ago, and that I only used a tiny bit in a stripy sweater, I think, but I have a lot left, more than enough. And this is the shade Apple Green. It is fingering weight, 100% British wool. And like I said, I've had this in my stash for a while, and I've just never really found a pattern to knit with it. So yeah, I'm really glad to have done that now. So this will be the strand of fingering weight, and then I will use 2 strands of this mohair, which is the Isager mohair in the shade, I think they've got numbers for Isager, in the shade 57. And yeah, I like the Isager mohair. So it's only recently that I started using mohair, because I used to find it very itchy, and now I don't anymore. So I guess I'm more tolerant to it now. I don't know how that happened, but great. And I do find the Isager mohair to be really soft. I have used it in a scarf that I wear quite close to my neck, and it's not itching at all. So to me, that's one of the softest one. It's not the cheapest one out there, but it is one of the softest one, and I really like it a lot. The 2 colors are not an exact match, as you can see, but I think, or I hope anyway, that they're gonna go really well together. And yeah, I'm looking forward to swatching, at least to see what the color is like and what the fabric is like, but I'm really looking forward to knitting on that. I think it's a very beautiful pattern. The only thing is that, like I said, it's got crochet in it, and I haven't crocheted in ages. And I have kind of, I feel like I need to start from scratch when it comes to crochet, which is kind of funny, because a couple of years ago I was crocheting a lot more, and I taught my dad to crochet, and now he's gotten really good at it. But my skills are kind of gone at this point. So I need to relearn crochet from scratch, basically, which very conveniently brings me onto the sponsors to this video, which is Skillshare. So if you don't know already, Skillshare is the largest online community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you take your career, your skills, hobbies, passions, and side hustles to the next level. I have been using Skillshare on and off for several years now, doing classes on a broad range of topics like photography, illustration, running my own business, as well as knitting and embroidery. What I really love is Skillshare's new feature called Learning Path, which are basically curated collection of classes centered around a specific skill, which really allow you to dive deeper and master whichever skill you are learning. In the case of the Evina cardigan and my kind of lack of crochet skills, I am currently doing this class by Emily Bolduc called The Most Complete Crochet Course for Beginners. I really love Emily's energy and the way that she has to teach you. She's very joyful, very fun to watch. And I also really love that this class is available for both left-handed and right-handed people. Because I'm left-handed, I often have to mirror everything, and in this case, it makes everything so much easier for me. If you would like to try Skillshare for yourself, then the first 500 people to click the link in my description box below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So go ahead, see for yourself, click the link and get started today. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I'm going to move on now to the next garment that I would like to knit this winter. Let me just grab the Ravelry page so I can give you the information. And it is the Nordlig cardigan by Fibertales. I love Fibertales patterns. I have knitted a few already. I think I've made a headband and a shawl, probably something else. 2 shawls, I think. Anyway, I love it. I love those patterns. They're really fun. They're really engaging. The construction is always something a little bit different, that it's never very difficult, but very engaging. And you feel like you're learning so much when you knit on those. And yeah, and I love this cardigan. I fell in love with it when she first started talking about it, which was a while ago, because I think it took a bit of time to create it and write the pattern and test it and all of this, but it has been out for a few months now, and it's just so beautiful. I love the construction where you start with the sleeves and they meet in the middle of the back, kind of like wings, and then you do the body, and oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it so much. The one thing is it's in brioche, and I've never done brioche, so I need to learn. So I think maybe I will work on that a bit later, maybe over Christmas break or something like that, where I have more brain space to learn a new skill. I am a little bit anxious about it in a way, not overly, like everything's fine, but it just feels like, you know, when you start knitting and you learn all those things, but you're just terrified of making a mistake because you don't know how to fix it. And this is kind of how I feel now about brioche, even though I haven't started learning at all. So yeah, I'm just getting in my head really. But I am also quite excited to learn this new skill. The yarn that I would like to use for this cardigan is this. So this is Gilliat by the Rerum Natura in this lovely light gray shade. It's called Bouleau, which I think is birch, like birch tree, you know, those tree with the white trunk. It is 250 meters per 100 gram. The pattern calls for a DK weight. The yarn that Lerke uses in her sample is her own yarn, which is 100% Gotland, I think. And it is a DK. I think hers is like 275 meters. This is 250, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And yeah, it's very squishy. And I know that brioche is very squishy as a stitch. And then this yarn is very squishy in itself, so I think it's going to be like maximum squish on this cardigan, which I'm really excited about. I know Nitty Natty is currently knitting one in a yarn that's also quite squishy, and it looks amazing. So yeah, I'm just really excited about it. It's also like a nice warm light gray that will go with everything. I think it'll be nice and warm and squishy in winter when it's a bit cold, or like early spring really, but also it could be something just to have and throw on in spring or even summer. Gilliat, I believe, is merino, so it's not the warmest of wool, but it is warm still. So yeah, this is what I'm planning on using to make the Nordlig cardigan. I bought an extra ball of yarn. I already had 5, so most of the, I don't remember if I said this at the start or not, but all of the yarn that I'm going to show you were in my stash already. It doesn't mean I'm not going to buy any yarn, but yeah, everything that I'm showing you today is already in my stash. But for this one, I had 5 balls, I think, and the pattern in my size would be 6. So I bought another ball. I was a bit concerned about like dye lots in a way, but I thought even if it's a bit different, I can use the 6 ball for like button bands or something, and that would be fine. But then actually it's not really different. I put them all together and I can't really tell which one is the one that I bought on its own and which one are the other 5. So yeah, I think it's because it looks undyed. To me, that's just a blend of natural sheep color. And so maybe that's why, I don't know if the other colors would have more of a difference, but yeah, very pleased with that. So yeah, very excited about this cardigan. I'm now going to move on to the third garment that I would like to make this season. I think 3 garment is maybe a bit ambitious, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I don't I don't have the pattern with me for this because it is a pattern that's going to be released in the new Laine magazine, the winter one, and at the time of my recording this, it hasn't come out yet, but the patterns are available for preview on Ravelry. And yeah, I'm really excited about this issue of Laine actually, because I don't usually buy them. It's not the kind of magazine that I collect. It's really the kind of magazine where I look at all the pattern and only buy if there's a few that I would make. And it means that I don't buy them often. I think I have maybe like 2 or 3 on my shelf. But this one, this winter, is it like winter 2024 to 25, I guess? It's the issue 23. It's really nice. It's got a lot of patterns that I could see myself making. So yeah, anyway, rambling. The pattern in question is called Cork. It is a cardigan jacket kind of thing. I will put a picture up here. And yeah, it looks really, really nice. It is also knit in like a bulky gauge, so I'm expecting it to go quite quickly. But I already anticipate making a few modifications to this pattern. It's due mostly to the yarn that I've got, but also some of the features of the design that I'm not the biggest fan of. So I'm just going to go through these. So the yarn that I have and would like to use for this is the Fleece, West Yorkshire Spinner Fleece Jacob, 100% Jacob in Aran. So I have 6 skeins of this. I might need a 7th, but it's okay because it's undyed and my local yarn store has it, so I can go and just grab another one. There won't be a dye lot issue or anything like that. But this is an Aran and the pattern calls for a bulky. I don't really want to buy like bulky weight wool. I really want to use this one. But my thinking is that I might use this and then hold it double with some fluff. And I am thinking of trying it with this fluff. So this is the Drops brushed alpaca. Yeah, the Drops brushed alpaca silk. I have a little bit left from a previous project. This is their white colorway, which is white but a bit on the warm side. And that I'm planning to hold double, especially because this particular alpaca is not a lace weight. It is, I guess, like a light fingering. Let me see with the label. Sorry for the paper rustling. It says 140 meters per 25 grams. So per 100 grams, so that would be times 4, so that would be 416, 560. It's really hard. Do you find that if you speak multiple languages, you can't count in any other than your first language? Like my first language is French, and doing like math in my head in English is just not working, so I have to do it in French. But yeah, I think it's 560 meter per 100 grams, so it's not a lace. It's thinner than a fingering weight, but not that much thinner. And I think that holding it double with this would probably get me to the bulky gauge that the pattern recommends. Now, regarding the things that I don't really like on the pattern, and I'm gonna put a picture, there's a photo of a close-up, and it's the cuffs and the hem, and they are made in garter stitch, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I think I might just knit those either in ribbing, or I like something that looks like double knit, but I don't think doing that for the hem and the cuff is a good idea because it's got no stretch. So I need to see if there's another way of achieving that look. But otherwise, I might just do ribbing on the cuffs and the hem and the collar, which is what is in the pattern for the collar anyway. And then the button bends I would do in double knit. I also don't really like so much in the collar. There's a bit of a rolled, like it rolls a little bit. I think you probably do some ribbing and then a few rows of stock in it, and then it rolls. I don't really like that detail so much, so I might take that out. And yeah, so a bunch of experimenting to do. I also kind of like the idea of, for the main body and the main texture, to have those two yarns held together, but then for the collar, the button bends, the cuffs, and the hem, to drop the alpaca and just the white fluffy yarn and just have this as a bit of a color and texture contrast. So yeah, I need to have a think about it, but I'm kind of looking forward to it, and I would definitely wear that as a jacket, I think, not as a cardigan, which also I think it has maybe like 10 centimeters of positive ease or something, and I wonder if I do it as a jacket, maybe I would want a little bit more, but also maybe not, because it would be to wear in like spring. So I might just have like a t-shirt underneath or a shirt, but not a sweater under a jacket, so I wouldn't need that much positive ease. But yeah, something to explore, but that's kind of my idea for that. Holding these two together for the body at least, maybe using just the gray for the neck, the cuffs and the hem and the button bands, and then the button bands in double knit instead of, I think it's ribbing right now, and the rest either in ribbing or in something that looks like double knit but maybe has a bit more stretch to it. So yeah, that's my plan. All right, that's all the garments that I am planning to do. Once again, I don't know if I'll have time to make, I think like 3 garments in 3 months is a bit ambitious, but you know, we'll see. It's good to have options anyway. And yeah, I'm gonna move on now to some accessories. And the first accessory that I would like to do, I actually have it on my needles already, but it's been in sort of hibernation for a few months and I really want to pick it up and finish it. And that's my Autumn Tales shawl by Isager. I'm just going to grab it. This is what it looks like right now. I'm about maybe a third of the way through. It is a garter stitch big shawl or scarf thingy. Tangled. Okay, it is a garter stitch shawl, and then you do at the end you do like a crochet braid all around the edge, which looks really, really nice. It's very easy to knit. It's probably a very quick knit. I've been focusing on other projects, which is why I haven't touched it in a little while. I am knitting mine in Hillesvåg Unspun. It has a name, I think, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll just say Unspun, in the shade light gray. It comes double-stranded, and I'm using it double-stranded. I think the pattern recommends either Mancholopi or Platulopi, but I'm using this one instead. And yeah, I'm enjoying it very much. This is one of the more fragile Unspun that I've used, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. It breaks sometimes, but you can, like stick it back together. So yeah, I just really love this color. To me, it's the perfect shade of light gray as far as grays go. And yeah, so this is a priority. I really want to finish this. I'm trying to clear my needles of a few things right now, but as soon as that's done, this is the priority. I really want to finish this. Because also I would be using this in winter for sure. So that is the first scarf that I would like to do. And then I would like to have to wear with it. I thought you can wear anything with gray obviously, but I kind of had the idea of making headband and mittens set in this lovely yarn, this lovely blue. So if you know me, you know that I'm very much into more like earth tones, like autumnal colors, but for some reason in winter I am very, like, blue is really calling me. So I'm using some blue. I think blue suits me anyway, so yeah. So I have this lovely yarn. I've got 4 skeins in my stash that my dad actually gifted me last year when we went together to Glasgow School of Yarn. He was visiting and I took him to Yarn Festival. And yeah, it's the Kinross 4-ply superfine lamb's wool. It's Scottish yarn, and that's the shade Scots Fine. It is a really nice, like teal, dark teal kind of thing. I know some people say it's green, but I think it's blue. And for this, I would like to make the Hiedra headband and mittens by Fibertales. I should have enough yarn for it. I've already made the headband in the past and I wear it all the time. It's the one that I wear when I go running in winter, so it's gone through quite a bit because, like I said, I wear it when I go running in winter, so I sweat in it and then it's winter, so sometimes it gets rained on, it gets snowed on, and it's held up so well. It's super warm, so I'm really excited to make another one. And then I would like to have the matching mittens as well, so I will have put a picture of both of them. And yeah, it was also such a quick knit the first time around, so hopefully it won't take too much time, and I'll be able to wear these in this winter as well. It is also a priority. I think it's probably the first kind of accessory that I'm gonna cast on. And yeah, I think they're both knit in DK, but if I hold these doubles, I should have enough yarn to make this set. And this yarn, I haven't used it, funnily enough. I know it feels like all the Scottish podcasters have used it and raved about it. I haven't used it yet, but I have felt it on the swatches at yarn festivals, and it gets so soft after washing. It feels like cashmere. So yeah, really excited about that. So that's the second sort of set of accessories that I would like to knit. Next, I would like to knit a hat in this yarn. So this beautiful red yarn I bought last year when I went to Shetland for Shetland Wool Week, and it is Langsoond yarn by Donna Smith. So that's her yarn. It is a DK, so I know when she releases a new batch, sometimes the weight is different. So this is DK. I know I think she's got fingering weight at the moment, and she had some lace in the past as well, but this is DK in the shade Roost. It is naturally dyed. It is the wool is from her own sheep and the sheep of her neighbor on Shetland. And it's got 220 meters per 100 grams, and it is so squishy and so pretty. I bought 2 other skeins of that in natural shades, and I made a cowl last year, which I wear a lot actually, and it's really warm, really nice, really squishy. And I bought this red one with the intention of making a hat, just to wear it in winter, but also with the idea of having, when I go hiking, just for a bit of extra visibility in a way. And so I have to say that I struggled a little bit to find a hat pattern that only uses 1 skein of DK. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like it should be that hard. Maybe I was just looking at things with like double folded brims and everything, and so you need more yarn. But in the end, instead of wasting my time looking through all of Ravelry's options, I thought it would probably be very much smarter to have a look through the books that I have and the patterns that I already own. And I found this beautiful pattern by Ronya Aquiledo, I think I'm saying this wrong, in her book Lakeside Stitches. I haven't knit from this book just yet, but I love it so much, and there's so many patterns in it that I would like to knit. But for the hat, it's this one. Let me just see. Yeah, that's just like yarn information and everything, so I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to, but it is this hat, which I think is so pretty. I think cables are not difficult, but so effective, so impactful, and it requires DK. It requires it's just the one size, but which should fit me, and it's 203 meters of DK weight yarn, and I've got 220, so I should use most of that, which is really exciting. So yeah, that is my plan to make this. It's called the Alku hat. Again, probably not how you're pronouncing it, but how you're supposed to pronounce it. But yeah, so I'm really happy about this. Also really happy to be using a pattern that I own already and a pattern from such a beautiful, beautiful book. So yeah. I'm just thinking now, but if any of these patterns inspire you and you want to knit them as well, just drop me a line and maybe we can like coordinate and knit them sort of at the same time and have a little chat going on Instagram. That could be really fun. So yeah, moving on to the next. So I have 3 other patterns, but 2 of them I intend to sort of work as a set, again kind of like the mittens and the headband before. And these are the Weekend headband by Petite Knit and also the Celeste mittens by Petite Knit. And which remind me that I didn't say what I was wearing today, and what I'm wearing is the Celeste pullover by Petite Knit. It's this really nice colorwork yoke sweater that I knit I think in January or something last year, and that I really, really love. I love the colors, I love the pattern. It's very warm and yeah, it's brilliant. And so the Celeste mittens that I just mentioned were actually designed to use up the leftover yarn from the yoke, which I have. I'm just going to show you, it's in a little bag, but I'm going to show it to you like this. So, sorry for the noise. So I have some leftover. There's a dark blue behind this. I have some leftover which are supposed to be enough, and then I also have some of the main color. I bought a little bit more because I needed some to... I had some leftover, but if you watched my last podcast episode, I used it all up in my Midland neck by Laura Penrose. So I bought a few more so I would have enough to make the headband in that beige, that weekend headband. And then the mittens, you use that color as the main color, and then the color work is on like part of the hand. And then I already have the Midland neck in that color, and so those three pieces together would be a nice set, I think. So yeah, that's also a plan. I don't know how many people have made the mittens. I feel like the sweater was really, really popular and a lot of people knitted it, but I don't know that I've seen a lot of the mittens around on Instagram or social media or whatever. The only thing about the mittens is the way it's finished. You know, it's finished like a wedge toe on a sock, and I don't really like this. I don't think it looks very nice. Personally, I think it's kind of hard to make like the pointy bit not too pointy. So I might do a round, kind of like a round toe, and you know, where you decrease kind of like the top of a hat. I have to have a look, or maybe I'll just try these and see how I actually feel, because maybe like I don't like it too much on the photo, but if I see it in person, I would like it. So yeah, we'll see. But that's a plan, which hopefully shouldn't take too long to knit, and it's a nice like little color work fix. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I need to just have a look at the quantities that I have of all of the colors and what is required in the pattern, because I swapped, I think especially towards the end here, I swapped some colors, and so I have used my yarn a bit differently than Petite Knit would have. So I just need to make sure of how much of each color I have, and so what motif I can do in which color in the pattern. But yeah, and then last but not least, one thing that maybe I would like to do, and that's a maybe because I don't really know what the yarn is going to be like just yet, is the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Isadora shawl by Lindsay Fowler. This is a shawl, I'll put the photo here, that was released 2 years ago as an advent pattern, so a way to use your advent. And I have the Zakami yarn advent this year. It's just right here. I can show you, I'm not going to show you the inside, but I will show you, this is the color palette. And so I have the advent, I have this advent, which I think might be nice to make this shawl. Originally I was planning to make a blanket with it, but then the base that I chose is the 100% llama, and it's so soft that I feel like it would almost be lost in a blanket, and I think it would do it justice a bit more to have it in a shawl or something that you would wear it close to you, you know. So this is the pattern that I have in mind for it just yet. I am waiting to open up all of my advent and to see all of the colors, possibly rearrange them, because I think they're in a bit of a fade right now, but rearrange them and see how that look. And if the color palette that I have, if I feel like it would look nice in this shawl, then I would do that. If I don't feel like it would look nice in this shawl, then I would look for another pattern. So yeah, that's a maybe, well, one maybe because maybe I will have to be done in the spring, because that's, I don't know if I would have actually the time to do it in this winter, but also maybe I need to see what the yarn situation is. So yeah. So yeah, that is my last pattern that I would like to talk to you about today. On top of all of this, I still plan to knit you know, to always have a sock on the go and things like that, but I have a bunch of yarn that I would like to use up for socks. I have quite a stash of sock yarn, so I'm just want to make my way through it, but I also don't plan ahead when it comes to pattern. I just make a pair of socks, and then once it's done, I have a look at which yarn I feel like using and which pattern I would like to use it for, and yeah, it's a bit of a last minute decision. So there will be a few pairs of socks here and there. I may, if I have the time, I might do a hat or something for Kyle as well, for my husband, but we'll see. This is my main project list for the winter, and I will go through what I go through. I will knit what I knit. It's absolutely fine if I don't knit everything. It's also fine if I change my mind, but it feels really good to have a plan. It feels really good to have projects assigned to yarn, and it also feels very good to have items and garments to look forward to wearing later in the year, you know. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that, especially like trying to knit a season ahead, because I always feel a bit frustrated when it comes to garment and I spent all that time knitting on them, and then towards the end, I'm losing a bit of steam because I know that it's not going to be finished. No, or like when it's finished, I'm not going to be able to wear it too much, and yeah, so it's not the most, I guess I could make the experience of knitting those garments more enjoyable. And also I find with myself anyway that a lot of the time when I just finished a project, I'm both very happy to be done with it and I love it and all of this, but I'm also, because I just finished it and it's so fresh, I see all the mistakes. But then if I wait a little bit before I wear it, I forget the mistakes and I don't see them anymore. So I think knitting a season ahead would also be really nice, because I would knit those garments, I would have to put them aside for a little bit because it would be too cold to wear them yet. And then by the time it's the right weather to wear them, I will have forgotten all the mistakes and I will just be very happy with the new garment that I made and that I can wear at the right time in the year. So yeah. Anyway, that is all my winter knitting plans. Please share in the comments below what your knitting plans are, if you have any. And like I said, if there's any of these projects that you feel like knitting and would like to maybe try and knit together, we can do that. See if, you know, when we're ready to knit them, if that matches and all that. But, you know, drop me a line. And yeah, I will see you next time in a regular podcast episode, which will probably be after Christmas. So if you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas. I hope you're having a really nice festive season. I hope you're getting a lot of rest. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Bye!